Hey buddies, Miss Fuggy here, coming at you another Borderlands 3 video. Today we're going to be showing you the new black market location and all the weapons inside. I'll be showcasing each weapon and what they can do, so make sure to stick around after I show the location of the vending machine so you can actually see how much damage and how these guns can actually perform. But before we get into it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You have no idea how much helps me out, and let's get into it.
Legendary? Whoa! No way, dude!
So first things first, the location of the black market machine is going to be on Eden 6 all the way down in the anvil, and pretty much where we want to go is going to be right here on the map. I'm going to put a little waypoint just so you know where we're going to be going, but there's only one spawn location, so what you want to do is just fast travel to the only fast travel location that you can actually go to. Once there, it's going to take about 20 seconds to actually go to if you ignore enemies. So it's going to actually be a straightforward path, and I'm going to cut over to the arc over there so we can actually save some time on our travel. Once you reach this little arc or gate, all you got to do is pretty much take an immediate left. Right up here is going to be the area you want to go to. Once you get up here, there's going to be a little part of the wall that you can actually jump on. What you want to do is just sprint, jump on here, jump right here, and then you can jump right immediately over here, and there is the black market machine very, very easily. Now, before I forget, because I often do forget until the last minute, the location of this area, just in case you didn't see at the beginning, is right here. I'm going to zoom out all the way, and let's see what's actually in the black market machine. Now, the black market machine is going to have 4 items, technically 3 items, but one is a variant on each other. But let's actually talk about the weapons. So the Sandhawk, as many of you know, is one of the best sniper rifles, or even the best sniper rifle in the game. It's arguably one of the best weapons in general for all characters, so I'd highly recommend getting it. You can pick any one here because all of them are going to deal crazy amounts of damage. And then next we have Embrace the Pain. Embrace the Pain is a variant based off of Pain is Power. These two are pretty much sides of the same coin. One pretty much has a higher damage card and shoots slower, and the other one can shoot faster. These ones are not that great, I'll be honest. At least with Moze, when I ignite myself, I immediately down myself, but we'll try it with other characters just to see if the ignite will immediately down you with other characters besides Moze. But besides that, the damage isn't too great. If they were to fix the ignite damage, perhaps you could combo with the elemental projector. But let's move on to the next one. The third item that you can get is the red cream. Now, the red cream is actually a really good grenade if you can use it right. There's a little trick that you can use that allows you to deal pretty much millions upon millions of damage in a few seconds, and it's really hard to do, but I'll showcase that a little bit later. Now that I actually showed you where the black market machine is, I am going to go to Sanctuary so we can test each one of the weapons real quick. First things first, let's talk about the most straightforward weapon here is going to be the Sandhawk. This is a very powerful weapon, as I said before. There is going to be elemental variants on all elements, and each have an equally chance of dropping of 20%. You cannot find a Sandhawk that is kinetic, aka no elements, so don't worry about finding one of those. If you're a Borderlands 2 fan, you'll probably easily recognize the bullet pattern as the Sandhawk SMG from the Pirate DLC. So right there you can kind of see they don't actually flap like they do in Borderlands 2. The bullet pattern is pretty much just a bird, just like the Sandhawk originally. Now, these bullets also deal splash damage, which means that they're perfect for Moze. The bullets in general deal crazy amounts of damage, so they're good for pretty much anybody. Despite this gun being able to deal splash damage, it cannot spawn with any splash anointments, so don't try to farm one of those anointments and waste your iridium. It's generally a very powerful weapon. It can spawn in full auto, semi-auto, 3 rounds burst. When switching modes, they can switch from a red dot to a full scope. Most of the time, for the ones I found, the scope is usually under the insuperior one, aka not full auto, but everyone has their preference. Personally, I like full auto because it's easy. Just hold down the button or trigger. And now let's move on to Pain is Power, aka Embrace the Pain. Now, the difference between these two are very subtle. Pretty much Embrace the Pain right here has a increased fire rate while it overheats, which allows it to shoot really fast. I'll show you here. So right off the bat, it doesn't shoot too fast, but while it overheats, it does shoot increasingly faster. Unfortunately, as I showed you right there, with Moze or maybe all Voltelters, we'll test in a few moments, you get downed pretty quickly with the ignite, which is very unfortunate because it does okay damage, but generally the damage doesn't make up for the aspect of you downing yourself. And then we move on to Pain is Power, which is the counterpart of Embrace the Pain. Instead of increasing fire rate, it increases the weapon damage while it heats up. So as we're shooting the Jack clone, you'll notice our weapon damage gets slowly increased up to all the way to 500,000 per shot, which is pretty decent. Too bad I killed myself with the ignite skill. Generally, I would say the pain is power is more worth it if you were to use these two, only because the amount of damage you can deal with it outweighs the total DPS that Embrace the Pain does. Of course, we can get more into that, but that type of math is for another video. I am actually going to switch over to another character just so we can see if the ignite damage does kill us on other characters as well. Okay, now I'm on Flak, and we're going to see if there's anything that allows myself to basically go down similarly how Moze was got down pretty quickly, and I got down. I was kind of surprised. I was thinking maybe firing a Skag Dam was causing the ignite downing, but it looks like all characters seem to have this problem because I can't think of anything that would cause Flak to go down because there's nothing that he adds to the ignite. That's a shame. I feel like Gearbox should probably fix that as soon as possible. That's honestly a pretty bad shame because it's a pretty interesting weapon and a very nice reference to Krieg, because both weapons, I believe, are direct quotes that either Krieg says or maybe his action skill points are called. Besides that, the red text also is "it hurts, ha ha ha, it hurts," which is, you know, something he says, I believe, when he ignites himself, if you build that way. Honestly, a real shame. And then finally, we move on to the Red Queen. The Red Queen is an obvious reference to Alice in Wonderland, where arguably the main antagonist, not necessarily, you can leave that up to interpretation, but she has a clear quote here, "off with their heads." As many as you probably already know what that is, but the Red Queen is a pretty interesting grenade. When you throw it, it's going to spawn another grenade right next to it and put like kind of like a laser between the two. They do split in a way that allows you to actually spawn them inside of an enemy if the enemy has a larger hitbox, and allows you to basically trap them inside of the enemy while the laser continuously hits the enemy over and over and over, which leads to some pretty crazy kills I'll show you in a few seconds. Just in case I forgot to mention it, the laser actually does deal gun damage. Since it can proc gun damage, it can deal some interesting damage and skill with certain abilities. I believe with Flak, you can get it to crit with a Megavore because of the gun damage. And the trick that I was telling you about where it gets trapped inside an enemy is a pretty hard trick. I've never quite gotten the hang of it. Normally people say to look to the left or the right and allow the grenade to spawn right inside the enemy, but it's so hard for me to even do. So instead of me fumbling around and failing to show it, I'm going to actually pull up a YouTube video. This video is actually really crazy because this is someone's attempt against Captain Tron with his 42 billion HP, and he kills it very, very easily with Red Queen. His channel is GKBKIM, and he's also a Reddit user named Gamma Spyros or something. I'm not good at pronouncing, as you guys know. But let me show you the damage that you can deal. So right here, what this guy is doing is throwing the grenades, and then his little backpack is what I believe he's aiming for. And as soon as it gets trapped inside of him, you'll notice that the laser right here, you'll see that there's 3 grenades right here, here, and here. And they're all leading to his backpack. 1 grenade is stuck inside his hitbox, not allowing it to explode or bounce around at all, and then the laser can move around, basically allowing it to deal a bunch of lines of damage, which is absolutely crazy. In just a few seconds, pretty much Captain Trance gets completely annihilated. You can do this trick with a lot of bosses I've seen, but I can never figure out how to do it with 100% success rate. It's definitely a very cool piece of tech, but it's definitely not for everyone because I can never figure it out. But I'd say that the Red Queen is definitely worth picking up at least one of, because it has fixed parts and it can't spawn with any elements, but it can spawn with some anointments, of course. It's definitely worth picking up at least one of them just so you can try out the crazy glitch. And I told you guys already that Sandhawk can deal some pretty crazy damage, and as promised, I will show you how much damage it can deal by melting Graveward in just a few seconds right here. So I'm not going to do any crazy setups. I'm just going to jump down there immediately and try to attempt to kill the boss as soon as possible, because the damage that it can deal is honestly pretty insane. So I'm just basically rapid firing my Sandhawk, and in just a few seconds the Graveward was dead. Of course, the bullets had to travel to the enemy, so I wasn't able to kill him right away, only because the bullets had to travel to him. The damage that it deals definitely makes up for its slow bullet speed, and it's highly recommended to get. Out of all the things in the black market machine, the Sandhawk is definitely the best item you can get right now, and definitely try to get your desired Sandhawk this week before it goes away. I wouldn't recommend getting anything else except for the Red Queen for novelty uses. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I hope y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.
And the last shall be first to immerse in a pass out heat, facing him up with a moxie melt till he woke up drowning in tchotchke hell. War in a cave with a torch on a wall, then a window arrangement of porcelain dolls.